Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow, on East to West with the G&E TV. Yes, once again, it's a Friday. Once again, it's time to look around us or to sneak around us, see what's happening. Well, there's nothing new happening, but still the old problems are perplexing enough.
That's right.
To keep us on our toes already. With my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, and by the way, he is a excellent, one-of-a-kind author of a book that is called The 100 Words to Live By. The title is Life is Simple.
Yes, sir.
Right. And it's to be released on the website pretty soon. And that I give you a congratulations.
I'm ready. I'm ready for our viewers to read it.
Okay, very good. And we of course have to link that book to the subject today because there is lots of things. We are looking for answers. The answers, as a matter of fact, are right in there. So first we're talking about, by the way, today we're talking about two subjects. Number one is about a sanction to Russia. Or sanctions to Russia. And the number two is the Middle East situation. Basically, we're talking about the Gaza Strip, yes, that situation, versus Israel, Palestinians, whoever involved in the pot of troubles. Right now, first, about Russian sanctions or sanctioning Russian, right? What's the overall situation now?
Well, it's interesting. Jack, I think I play tennis. In tennis, the ball goes back and forth across the net, okay? So we've started out, Russia annexed the Crimea, and now they're making some aggressive moves in the Ukraine. And so rather than fight them in physical ways right now, America and Europe, to a certain extent, are fighting them through sanctions that can damage the economy of the Russians. And then what's happened, they've been primarily addressed to oil and gas industry, wealthy Russians, and also to the banking industry. So, but now there's been a ban on selling certain food items to Russia. Now Russia's retaliating now with their own sanctions coming back at America and at Europe. And so it's kind of a boomerang effect. The impact is going to be, Russia's stubborn. Okay, there's 141 million Russians. I checked their population today. And it's going to probably cause some inflation because they won't be able to get all their food stuff and agricultural products as easily from importing them as they have been.
I see.
So we expect some inflation over there, and hopefully it will give them a little better reason to cooperate and not be aggressive in trying to expand their empire.
I see. The first question is that why would the sanction be elevated? What is the ignition of it?
Well, I think one of the ignitions is that one of their missiles, we believe, shot down an innocent airplane of passengers, and that tragedy, which is beyond comprehension, is hardly even discussed in the news anymore. And there's still body parts laying over there. So it's a reaction.
Of course. As a news media person, I see things in a different perspective, different angle. I may sometimes slant in, right? I don't want to cut in, because when you cut in, you just follow the trace of somebody else. You slant in, you see the cuts. Right?
Okay.
Now, let me slant in. Now, you're saying that one of their missiles was used in the shooting down of the poor Malaysian aircraft.
That is the general consensus of those that have studied it.
All right. Does that make any difference from the fact that they did shoot the aircraft down themselves?
No.
My question is that, has it been confirmed the Russians did it?
No, but you know, it's generally well believed that their missile did it. And then we've talked before about that, how long it takes for training. So I personally at least believe that the Russians were absolutely complicit in it. I doubt if it was not shot from inside the Russian border, maybe. And as you know, you've got so much technology that needs to be done to hit an airplane 33,000 feet high.
I want to make a little revision about your
yes, sir.
by the way, we're good friends, right?
Absolutely.
We can argue as much as we can.
We just discussed.
But I just want to let you go by easy without it being picked up, right? You said that one of the Russian missiles was used in the attack that shut down the poor Malaysian aircraft.
That is the general consensus.
Now, the same thing can be applied to a situation. To give you an example, let's fake an example. If I was killed by somebody using a German pistol, call it, say, what is the best German?
Luger.
Luger, right? German Luger.
I love a German Luger.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, can we say that we go to Germany for revenge because it is their weapon, one of their weapons, that killed Jack Chow?
No, and the difference is, I believe that the Russians were involved in training, if not in firing the missile, and it's pretty incontrovertible evidence that they were involved in this. And I think most people agree they didn't intend to shoot down a passenger airline, and that was a bad happening. But nobody's doing anything except now we're doing sanctions and things. And in the story hardly gets coverage anymore, and yet there's 300 dead people, and then their families and friends. It's
and also missing in the news is that the development about who did it.
It's well, nobody can get to the crash site.
The development on the research of who did it.
The financially supported separatist rebels in the Ukraine that are supported by Russia, clearly.
Do we have hardcore evidence so far about they did that?
Well, that they're supporting them? Oh yeah, there is. I can't tell you what it is, but absolutely, yes. They are supporting that. They're providing, because the rebels don't have their own money.
It is on the news, of course.
It's right. Well, I don't believe everything that's on the news either, by the way.
But it sounds like you believe everything on the news.
No, not even, certainly not our elite media. I don't. They're all slanted. It's all politics. It's not news anymore even.
How about the news being monopolized, being under some kind of control, or be misled? How about that?
I think there is misleading news on the major networks.
I mean the news being misled.
Related to the plane?
Yeah. To the thing, to the incident.
You know, I believe the Russians were complicit, and you can't come up with a completely unsubstantiable.
The idea, okay. My only question is that let me just cut the chase, right?
Yeah, exactly.
My only question is that has it been a reaction of the Malaysian poor aircraft shooting down, or has there been the concept or the idea to sanction Russia anyway?
Well, I think it's, yes, it's not the only reason. The airline is not the only reason, because they've got now 20,000 troops on the border of the Ukraine. They are certainly supporting in every way possible with ammo and equipment and money the separatist rebels. And so that kind of aggressiveness, if it's not confronted, will just continue to grow. So how it's being confronted now is with sanctions.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, forget that part. Okay, I will let the audiences be the judge.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. We just bring the crying baby to the mother, and let the mother take care of it. Right. Okay, now,
exactly.
The crying
Good
baby.
point.
The crying baby being that there are sanctions, and there are revenge sanctions, and there are revenge sanctions.
That's the tennis game.
And that's right. They're going to be tit for tat,
that's
tit for
what's
tat,
going on.
tit for tat, going on and on till when? Till what is approached?
Until either Russia ceases trying to annex more of the Ukraine or get the Ukraine back in their empire, which I do think will happen. I don't, you know, there's a lot of gamesmanship between the Russian leaders, our leaders, and a lot of decisions are made with ego involved as opposed to pure rational thinking, which is very tragic, okay, on the world stage. So until when, there's no end in sight as we sit here.
Sure. To give you an example, I'm a man of examples.
Yes, sir.
When I want to make a point, I always want to grab an example to make the point, or to at least to help my point.
Right.
Say a doctor. The difference between a doctor and the regular people who has no bad medical background is that the doctor knows sometimes situation is inevitable, and they give you advices.
Yes, sir.
Do the pain management, right? Do whatever final care or something, make it easy for this person, right, to reach the end of life. Something like that.
Okay, right.
Now.
Assisted.
Okay.
Right.
To everybody else, especially the families, they will try everything they can to still put money into the pot, to revive the person, to revoke the situation, to retrieve the situation, put it that way, right? Okay. The difference between a doctor is the difference between doctor and the regular people is that one sees the overall picture, one doesn't. Am I right?
I'm following what you're saying.
Okay, now the example, right? Using Russia as an example, right? Will Russia stop what they wanted to do, or inevitably they will try to do what they want to do? Like Putin once said, "Give me 20 years, I'll bring the union back to you."
No, that's right. Yeah, they're not going to stop until we stop them through sanctions or something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like a cancer diagnostic, right? And it is going to happen anyway. Right? The Russian is determined to do that, and the sanctioning them to stop doing that gets a rebound, gets the revenge sanction back too, and which triggers the revenge, and it goes on and on. We're living in a world of re.
That's fair, but if America and Europe combine their determination to diminish Russia's aspirations, it can be done, because we can impact their economy in such a bad way, and their economy is not great right now at all either. And they've got a tremendous capital leaving there. $75 billion in investments have left Russia since this has all been going on. And the problem is, because of oil and gas dependence in Europe on Russia, the Europeans are a little bit hesitant to be as strong as they need to be.
Okay, very
That's
good.
the problem.
All right. All right. Questions are raised. Answers are still nowhere. Questions are raised. Answers are still nowhere. Right? Probably once again, we just, stop here by handling the crying baby to our audiences, let you make your own decision. At least you probably give your own take or your own connotation. I don't know. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we'll just flip over to see the other part of the world. What's going on there? Stay with us, please.